Let us head over to London now, where Ian Lee is standing by, following a number of other stories happening around the world for us. Ian, what is going on in the United Kingdom? I think you guys are in a lockdown now, but we've been discussing all morning this new variant of the COVID-19 virus and the fallout.
Good morning, Anne-Marie. Yeah, the chaos continues here as countries keep the borders shut to the UK. The white cliffs of Dover are still all red as France continues to close its ports because of that more contagious variant of the coronavirus. Almost all EU countries have done the same. Truck drivers spent a second rainy night sleeping in their vehicles. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been on the phone with French President Emmanuel Macron to get trade flowing once again. They're hopeful it'll happen later this week. But if it doesn't happen, two of Britain's biggest supermarkets warned of eventual shortages. Meanwhile, travelers also remain stuck as most air, rail, and sea services have been canceled. Next, we are in Kenya, where doctors joined clinical officers and nurses in a nationwide strike. There's anger over the lack of protective gear when battling the coronavirus. At least 13 doctors have died. Healthcare workers are also demanding better pay and medical insurance. But this strike could also make it difficult for patients to receive treatment during the pandemic. The standoff could lead to a spike in deaths as ICU units across the country fill to capacity with COVID patients. Meanwhile, the health ministry has threatened to fire anyone who doesn't go back to work. Next, we are in Russia with a bizarre story. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny tricked a Russian government agent into revealing details of an assassination plot against him. Investigative group Bellingcat says the call was set up to appear to be coming from a Russian Federal Security Service landline. Navalny was poisoned with the nerve agent Novichok last August. He collapsed on a Russian airliner before eventually being taken to Germany. Russian President Vladimir Putin denies it was an attempted government hit job, but in the phone call, the alleged agent gave specific details of the assassination attempt. And finally, we are in Spain with El Gordo. The world's biggest lottery, called the Fat One, has a prize fund of $2.7 billion. People had been lining up across the country with hopes of a little Christmas luck, but playing isn't just limited to Spain. Folks around the world can enter. This lottery is a tradition dating back more than 200 years. In total, there are 1,800 prizes to be won, but of course, there is the jackpot, El Gordo, which is worth roughly $5 million. There's a lot of opportunities for people to win, but numbers are announced today, so if you're hoping to play, there's always next year. Okay, Anne-Marie, obviously, if we won, we would keep our jobs because we love them, but even though it's the season of giving, let's be a little selfish. If I won, I would purchase a ranch in my home state of Wyoming. What about you?
I'm not going to lie. I am not going to keep this job. Maybe show up, maybe to, crack jokes with Vlad a little. I really like the people that I work with, but I can't promise that you'd see me here the next day if the Fat One came in for me, as it is called. But, it won't, because even though we talk every day, Ian, somebody didn't bother to tell me that I needed to get my ticket yesterday.
I know, I'm going to have to wait for next year, too, so I'll remind you.
Thank you. You have a good day, Ian Lee.
You too.